Hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm at the Transition 2011 conference. I'm talking to Ian and Dai from Transition Heathrow. We were in a very interesting fishbowl discussion yesterday about transition and activism. And Ian, I was particularly interested in what you had to say about change and the nature of change.
Well, yeah, the idea of a group of people that are advocating change, which is what transition groups are all about, means that essentially they're challenging the status quo. So I would say that means they're engaged in activism.
Yes, and Dai, you had an interesting take on activism and the nature of different kinds of activism.
Yes, I think there's been this discussion within the transition movement about how activism can sometimes conjure up the notion of direct action, whereas actually there's quite a distinct difference between the two practices and the two words. And there's been discussions around that, and I think yesterday's meeting was really key in trying to redefine those words and those actions within the transition movement and those within the movement who also do practice direct action of varying kinds, and the discussion relating to how in some degrees that the transition movement at the moment is very wary of taking on board direct action, but as a whole I think the transition movement, as Ian was talking about, is engaging in activism. Yeah.
Yes, I definitely got that sense, because activism could be writing to your MP, it could be planting, challenging the council to create more allotments, all sorts of things like that.
Guerrilla gardening. Yeah.
And just to round it off, Dai, you sort of sent an appeal for tolerance, more tolerance.
I think so. I think within the transition movement there's been, it's quite a hot topic, I think, and it was there, and people do have quite valid and kind of concerns about, us in transition. We don't want to be associated with direct action of any sort, and I think that's quite clear. And I think at the moment that, transition movement doesn't need that kind of direct action wing, if you like, but there needs to be a tolerance of those who kind of do feel that in an emerging kind of danger zone, perceived threat, that direct action is in the toolbox of even those who are actually within the transition movement, and perhaps a little bit of tolerance in that respect would go a long way. That we can wear two hats, and so yeah.
And I forgot, you gave a very good example about how women got the vote, what the child's question was.
Yeah, I gave a talk in a school a few months ago, and there was a really intelligent students there talking about, this was after the student riots, and there was a big discussion about, this is violence, and it was kind of a riot situation. And then one of the students asked the question, which was a really intelligent question, which was, who, in the suffrage movement, who actually affected the change? Was it the suffragettes or the suffragists? And and my answer just off the hoof at the time was, does it really matter? Change, women got the vote. And so there are many strings, to the bow, and and if we can tolerate each other and not work in opposition and have a common goal, then success follows from that.
Right, thank you very much. Thank you very much.